Hi, I'm Jeff Stokes. Welcome to Jeff's Daily Dose of Encouragement. Today, a word on Israel. As we know, there's a lot happening around Israel and between Israel and Hamas specifically, but also the Palestinian people, and it's tragic and horrible and really, really awful. And due to the fact that Israel has once again found itself in a place where it's had to try and defend itself, we see the ugly sore of anti-Semitism rising all around the world. And some people think it goes back to 1948. But anti-Semitism is so ancient, it's not funny. It is so ancient. And we actually see the beginnings of it really palpably in the book of Exodus, where after Joseph died, after ruling Egypt, another Pharaoh came in, and then, as with a lot of, well, most dictators, they rule by fear, they're insecure, and because the people of Israel of course originally was a person, Jacob, and his name was changed to Israel, and he took his family into Egypt during a famine, and then they grew and grew and grew and became the size of a nation, and Pharaoh started getting worried that they might get taken over. So what did they do? They started oppressing the Jews, and they didn't done anything wrong. They weren't called Jews then. They started oppressing the people of Israel, oppressing Jacob's family, basically. That's who they all were. And it got worse and worse and worse and worse, and then God had to finally heard the cry of the children of Israel and got Moses to deliver them. But you know, anti-Semitism is pretty old, and it's been around for years, and that the reasons why it's around today is not the reasons why the media and everyone say it's not because of Israel's fault. There are times in history, as we go on from Exodus right through, where obviously God made a covenant with Israel and the children of Israel, and they did things wrong, and then as a result of that, judgments came, and they lost their nation because of that. But you know, as I said, the root of anti-Semitism can go right back to the fact that, you see, the Jewish people have always been, right back, you go back to Jacob, and look what he did with Laban. You know, he did a deal with him, and God showed him a miracle, and his flocks increased, and he became, every single one, you go right back to Abraham, they've always been able to increase, they've always been able to prosper, they've always been able to make things work, even in the most barren of places. And that's what Israel's like. And because of that, people hate them. The Germans hated them because they were really good at business, and they made all the money, and ended up running the banks and everything. Well, it's not their fault they're good at commerce, but you know, this is the roots of it all. It's because they're a nation blessed by God, and it's an antichrist spirit behind it. Antichrist, anti-Semitism, you know, and so they'll attack the Jews and the Christians, because obviously we are linked, because Jesus was born a Jew and then rose again from the dead. But the answer to all this is, of course, the person I just mentioned, Jesus Christ, the Lord of all, who was fully man and fully God, came and identified with our sufferings, himself totally innocent, and was crucified by the Romans but sentenced to death by his own people, and then rose again from the dead and made a new covenant so that both Jew and Gentile could live together in peace. And all that needs to happen is that people who are Palestinians, or it doesn't matter whether you're Palestinian or Israeli, or whether you're African American, or whether you're from one of the Indian tribes in America or in Canada, or if you're an Inuit or a Maori or a Tongan or Samoan or Aborigine. If you put your faith in Jesus Christ, all of those disparate people become one nation under God. And then that becomes the Israel of God. That's the new, as it were, Israel. All under Jesus Christ. If you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, if you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For whosoever shall confess that Jesus is the Son of God, God dwells in him and he in God. Because God chose the nation of Israel to bring in the Messiah, to bring peace and bring salvation to the world. And that's what the satanic attack against it is about. God bless you. Have a great day.